I'm talking about what I spent in a month. If you've seen the previous video, I talked about how much I spent in a week, and it was quite shocking, to be honest. And in that video, I was going in depth of what I spent every day. And this video is gonna be an extensive version of that because I'm gonna be sharing everything. I just think it would be really helpful for someone who's considering living out of home, is a student like me, or would just like to know the cost of living in Sydney, because I know it has a reputation of being a very expensive city to live in, and it should be something that you should think about before coming here. I wasn't ready for all these expenses, to be honest. I didn't realize how much it cost to live here until I came here. But obviously it depends on a number of factors, like where you live, what sort of lifestyle choices you have. And I'm shooting this video on the 27th of May, so obviously the month is not over yet, so we can't analyze this month, but the month I've chosen I'll be analyzing is the month of April. And like I said in the previous video, it varies each month. It's not like this every single month. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that is the month that I went on a holiday. So yeah, that will be interesting. I'm just going on the Commonwealth app. That's the bank I'm with, and they have a really smart tracking system, which is really useful, to be honest, where it tells you how much you spend in a month and on what. So it has a lot of categories like travel, entertainment, shopping, groceries, like that. I would like to mention something that I mentioned in the first video as well. I have fixed monthly expenses that do not change throughout the month. I have $200 of rent each week. That adds up to $800 of rent each month, and that covers all bills, water, electricity and gas, so I don't have to pay anything on top of the $200, which some people have to pay sometimes if they're leasing on their own or something like that. I have a phone plan of $60 that covers my phone installment payment and my phone service. And I also mentioned that I have this money ritual, if you will, that each month I transfer $200 to my savings account, which gives me some interest back if I do that, which is like basically free money. Why wouldn't you do that? If you have $200 in your account, just transfer it to the savings account and you get, a couple of dollars that you didn't have to work for. But yeah, on to the month of April. So yeah, starting on April 1st, I spent $10.12 at Coles, that's a grocery store here in Australia, and I spent $3.60 at Aldi, that's also another grocery store. And I also spent on a Patreon membership. That was Natalie Barbu's Patreon that I signed up for. So if a person that you follow has a Patreon, you can sign up for it, and they have like exclusive content there for their members. And that was really fruitful for me because she's actually one of my favorite YouTubers, and basically she audited my YouTube channel, and that was such a motivator because she is someone I look up to, and for her to say that I'm doing well and giving me tips, that just meant the world to me. So that is definitely money well spent. It's not even $5, it's $4.95. So yeah, that was all for April 1st. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So that comes to a total of $15.07 on April 1st. Now on to the 2nd of April, I spent $50 on shopping in Manly and another $30 at the Manly Market. I also spent $20 on getting my eyebrows done, and I spent $8.68 at Chemist Warehouse. I think that was just for clips and stuff. So if you've seen my get ready with me for a vacation video, I show you all the things I bought and all that, so you can actually check that out. And that was before my vacation, so I'm not really upset about that because you would spend a bit getting ready for a holiday, shopping a bit and pampering yourself. So I ended up spending $108.68 that day. On 3rd of April, I spent $10.50 50 cents on ice cream, and $14 parking. So my friend took me, and I paid for parking. That's just what you do. If someone drives you, you pay for parking. We went to DUI Beach just to spend some time together before I head off to my holiday. And I also paid $22 for lunch for myself that day. So that comes to a total of $46.50. Now on to 4th of April. That is actually the day we flew there, so I think I added extra luggage. That's why I'm being charged by Jetstar $70.18. I really thought if I didn't buy luggage that I would get pulled up at the airport and I'd just be late for the plane, and that's why I ended up paying that much before going there. So basically on April 4th, all I spent on was the extra luggage fee. On April 5th is when we landed. So that day I spent $19.69 on transport because we had to get to our hotel. I spent $24.65 at the Surfers Paradise Beach Cafe. We ended up spending a lot of time there because our check-in time wasn't until 1 o'clock. So we landed there at like 9 or 10 and we had to wait until 1 o'clock. So we had to spend our time somewhere, and we chose that cafe, and we had a bunch to eat and a bunch to drink because we were on holiday. I also ended up spending $43.33 that day at Woolworths, which is a grocery store in Australia, just for the weekly groceries we needed while we were there, so that we don't starve ourselves in the middle of the night or something like that. So on April 5th, I ended up spending $87.67. I'm just reading all this from my laptop and doing the math there because, like I told you, I'm not a math genius. Now on to April 6th. So bear in mind I'm on holiday, so I will be spending on eating out and stuff like that, which I wouldn't be normally this much because I think we ate out every day while we were there. I spent $16.50 at Vaxie's Pub. We had a great time there. It's a great place to be when you're in Surfers Paradise. It's so chill and it just has a great vibe. I also spent $32 there, and I also spent $6 there. There's 3 transactions that day just from Vaxie's Pub. I also spent $25 at the Infinity Maze. If you've seen my Gold Coast video, I had a great time there. It's a great place to be, but it's really, really scarring. So all in all, I spent $54.50 on 6th of April. On April 7th, all I spent on was $100 on Movie World. Movie World itself was $100. And Movie World was the next day, I believe. So we had breakfast in the morning, and that cost me $12.65. And then we went to Vapiano's, and that cost me $25. So that comes to a total of $137.65 on Wednesday, the 7th of April. On the 8th of April is when we actually went to Movie World. So you can buy tickets beforehand and go after type of thing. And you want to do that because you want to get tickets, right? So that day was Movie World full on. And we were really tired by the end of the day. So we had Surfers Kebabs for $19.98 for me. That's how much I spent that night. And that is the only expense for that day, which I'm happy about, although I spent $100 for this day the day before. So, on to Friday, huh? Time to partay. Friday, the 9th of April, I spent $125 on, I think that was a parasailing thing. That's why it's so much. And then I spent $20 at the Asylum Club. And then I also spent $24.29 at the Asylum Club. And I spent another $24.29 at the Asylum Club because we thought we wouldn't be staying there. We thought we'd just go in and get out and go somewhere else, but it was really nice. So we were just like, we're just going to spend some time here, but we didn't have a buzz on, so we needed, drinks and stuff like that, and ended up spending a bit. Here's a tip: don't get vodka Red Bulls. Just don't. They're really expensive and they're not that great for their price. Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm seeing. But anyway, I spent $193.58 that day. Fridays are rough, my friends. Fridays are rough on my bank account. We're not even halfway through the month. So on April 10th, I spent $19.69 on transport to get to the airport. And that night, my friends and I also had dinner together. That was $36. I think it was in Darling Harbour. I don't know where. So that comes to a total of $55.69. On to Sunday, 11th of April. That day I spent $13 getting takeout with my friend, and I spent $6.18 on transport coming back home. So that comes to a total of $19.18. On Monday, after my holiday, I took it easy. I spent only $13.50. Aren't you proud of me? And on Tuesday, I spent $21.90 on lunch with my friend, I believe. And that was all for Tuesday as well. On Wednesday, I have a deduction of $20 for PayPal, which I'm not really sure what I spent on. So sorry about that, but I spent on PayPal something, maybe just shopping, and I spent $6 at Coles again. Had to get groceries. So that's $26 for the 14th of April. On 15th of April, that is a Thursday, I did not spend anything. Good thing. On the 16th of April, I spent $6.18 on transport and $21 at Coles. As I'm going through this, I'm also doing the math. And this time I spent quite a bit on a Saturday instead of Friday. I spent $48 on liquor at BWS because I think we had a cocktail night that weekend, and I spent $5.75 at Woolworths. By the way, my cocktail was the worst that night. My intention was not to make the best cocktail, it was just to make a cocktail and drink cocktails. But yeah, making a cocktail was quite pricey, like $50 just to make a cocktail. So all in all, I spent $53.75 that day. Now on the 18th of April, I spent $2.50 at IGA. I think that was for biscuits. I was out of biscuits. I have biscuits with my tea. So, and I spent $9.90 at KFC for comfort food after the hangover probably. $6.18 for transport, $5 at Coles. So that adds up to $23.58 for the 18th of April. So on Monday, I spent on Sydney Writers Festival. Okay, so this is the week that I analyzed in my previous video, so I'll just add the total of this week for this month because I've already added it and analyzed it and all that and explained it in that video. If you'd like to hear about the expenses that week, you can go check out that video. That week came to a total of $532.16. So I'll just add that to the total. I'm so glad I don't have to go through this week. There has just been too many expenses. So after that week, I spent $13.50 at Coles, $1.29 at Aldi on the 26th of April. On Mondays, I'm back on track. I'm in the grocery store buying my fruit and vegetables, forgetting about the weekend and just working, really. So that's $14.79 for that day. On Tuesday, I didn't spend anything that week. On Wednesday, I spent $22.50 at Coles again. Coles gets a lot of my money. On Thursday, I spent $11 on coffee for me and my friend. That's a lot of money. And on the last day of the month, or 30th of April, which fell on Friday, I spent $6.18 on transport and $40 at Emu Hall. But yeah, that is $46.18 for the last day of April. In total, I'm afraid to find out, but I'll do it now. That was the month of April, guys. This took a lot of energy and effort, so just tell me that you appreciate it in any way possible. So I just did the math, and that came down to $1,601.18 for whatever I spent this month, and that's just how much I spent. I also have bills and rent and stuff like that, fixed costs like I told you, and that is $1,060, and all together, and that totals to $2,661.18 in total. That took a long time and a lot of effort. Like, oh my god, that is pretty much how much you'll be spending in Sydney as a 20-year-old if you want to go out and do stuff and stuff like that. This is how much you'll be spending. I'm not kidding. There's a reason they say it's a expensive city, because it is. But you have a lot of fun here, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I spent this much, I earned this much and I spent it. And I do not regret it, if I'm honest. If you found this information helpful, please make sure to like this video and leave a comment below of what you think of this amount. Like, do you think it's bizarre to spend that much? Or do you think, it's reasonable? As I listed out all the things that I did and what I spent on. I would love to hear from you guys if you have any tips on saving or the money mindset. If you would like for me to make more videos related to money and spending and savings and adulting, I would love to make them for you and be a bit more transparent. And yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.